Hey, darling, I'm back. Well, it does smell good in here, but yeah, as you can tell, I'm very sweaty. Work was, it was very difficult today. And not exactly a great one, but these things happen. The hay baler broke down, but it's easily fixable. But, oh, you're upset about something, aren't you? I know when you're upset. Call it a lovely sixth sense that I have. Well, it's written as plain as day on your face. Alright, what's got you upset? So you ran into the neighbor gal at the feed store. And she wanted me to call her, and you think, oh, no, 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 no. No, I am not doing anything like that behind your back. And especially with her. I might have known her for quite a while. Well, for a long time, really. But that gal's got her own issues. And plus that, she's high maintenance. And it would not work out between me and that one. Why not? Well, just because we own horses really doesn't mean me and her have a lot in common. That's just the only thing we have in common. And plus that, she tends to be a bit overly competitive. But something tells me that the phone call that she wants me to make with her, well, I can kind of guess that she probably got a hold of a horse that she had no business getting a hold of. How would I know? Well, that's most likely what it's over. Because the only time she ever wants me to call her, or she leaves a voicemail, is when she does something like that. But it must be serious if she had to tell you to tell me to call her about about whatever her issue is. But I can guess it's a horse. But no, you have nothing to worry about. Well, just simple. You have nothing to worry about. I picked you for a reason, not her. And plus that, if me and her did date, Jubilee would be overly offended. You know how that mare can get. She's already a handful as it is. Well, I know you don't ride horses, but yeah, I would not put you on Jubilee. Well, not even if I was to lead Jubilee around with you on her, I wouldn't do that. Jubilee might get after both of us, but that's beside the point. And plus that, Jubilee did pitch her once. Oh, why did Jubilee throw her once? Well, Jubilee threw her right out in that pond, exactly. Why? Well, let's just say Jubilee didn't like her attitude, but, just between you and me, and, don't let her find out, her pride can be a bit sunny. But she lets the rain get to her way too easily. See, you're already laughing and you're feeling better about yourself. Don't ever think that I would ever, do something that wrong behind your back. That's just wrong. But you go ahead and get dinner prepared. So for those of y'all wondering, I am Mississippi Gonzo Grunge, aka RedCorn. So I figured I'd go ahead and lay out some ground rules about this type of content. Most of this is for an 18 and older audience, but I don't plan on doing this type of stuff that often. Probably sporadic and, here and there. I kind of did this as a fun thing back on April Fool's Day. And then I said, oh, how many of y'all would like to see me bring this character back? And they said, okay, sure, bring it back. And I'm like, alright, guess I'm doing it. So, here I am doing it. But I don't really plan on doing this type of content forever. Nor do I plan on doing this frequently. It's just going to be more of a sporadic deal. Special occasion type events. Because I said, oh yeah, I'm probably going to bring this back once. Or a few times, just depends on when I do it, because, my job is already crazy enough as it is. So, that's kind of, where I'm stuck at. So there is that. That's just where it is. That's just where it is. So, such as these things are. Now, when I do this type of stuff again, I'm trying to keep it more on the wholesome slice of life type deal. I don't really care for some of the other ASMR stuff that's out there. To me, it just sounds bleh, sort of say. Some of y'all probably get what that means. Some of it just sounds, disgusting. Not trying to poke fun at anybody or anybody else. Stuff like that. Because, some people, they're going to get offended regardless. So I figured, okay, well, how about something different? So, pretty much, that's my regards to RedCorn. But I do plan on bringing RedCorn out for, other stuff, such as, live streams of American Truck Simulator and what's the other one that I play? Farming Sim, that's the other one. For games like that, I have no interest. I have no issues bringing them out for that, but the whole ASMR stuff, this is just something fun that I do on occasion because, some of the guys and gals that voted in a poll that I put up not long after April Fool's Day. So it's not long after I put it up on April Fool's Day, the original, it was kind of an outtake, but it's just kind of me messing around with it. Most of this stuff that I do is ad-libbed. I just come up with it on the spot. And then when I know what I'm going to say, I just sit down and record it. So, yeah. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. I don't plan on doing this stuff that often. When I do it, it's going to be for a special occasion. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But other than that, if you did enjoy today's audio and this type of nonsense that I'm doing, yeah, please do shoot the like button with a great skiddly, and do comment down below. Do comment down below and all that jazz. But other than that, I do live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Granted, my scheduling, the start times are really just up in the air due to the type of job that I work, because the job I do is very up in the air at the moment. Because for one, I'm usually up before sunrise and I'm back in the house right as the sun's starting to set. I say that, but usually around 4 to 5 o'clock I get off. So there is that. There's some days that I do have a day off, but it's just random stuff as this. This is just old footage that I had stored up that I've been meaning to get rid of. Yeah, I was going to use this footage for some, I'm trying to think of what it was. The footage, it's going to be for a special talk video, which I might use this again. So, just as it is. But such as these things go. So, thank you for understanding. I do have plans to do more of these audios, more ASMR stuff, just not as frequent, because, I'm still kind of up in the air on doing this. So I said, what, I'm going to make this just to see, just because people asked to see RedCorn again, so I'm like, okay, here's RedCorn. But, such as this, such as it is. And that was me pulling a Roscoe Coltrane with this footage. Such as it is. But, hope your day's been going well. Hope your week goes better. Hey, it's almost summer break because it is May as I'm uploading this. Well, it's May 5th as I'm recording this. This will go up on Wednesday, which is, right now. But, such as it is. Now then, y'all have a great day and a ballin' weekend. Don't do anything stupid. And y'all take care of yourselves, and, do go outside and get some exercise. Go get some exercise. Drink plenty of water and all that other fun stuff. So other than that, y'all take care.